Hi, everyone. So for our next session, we have Dan Edlebeck, who is the CEO of Exidio. And we're proud to say that they are sponsors of our hackathon and the summit as well. Dan?
Yeah, thanks so much. You guys really appreciate all the support. And we're excited for all the developers here at Decentral Hack 2021 to come and participate and learn more about what we're building with the Web 3.0, what Sentinel is doing, and really what is the power of the opportunity we have in our hands right now to bring the decentral web to the future, to where we are, to where the web was and where the web is going. So thanks again for everyone for being here. And I'm Dan. I'm the CEO of Exidio. And Exidio is a software development arm and a blockchain development shop. We have a team globally, but we're focused on our team in India. And yeah, our CTO Srinivas is a top tier developer, and he's one of the people that have launched the Sentinel network. And Sentinel is a peer-to-peer bandwidth marketplace. Sentinel is a core stack of the Web 3.0. And we'll get into that more in the presentation, but think of Sentinel as kind of like people say we are all Bitcoin or we're all Satoshi, everyone that's participating in the Bitcoin network, everyone that's participating in the Sentinel network that's offering bandwidth to the network or routing traffic through other people's bandwidth through their IP address are part of the Sentinel network. And I'm the CEO of Exidio, and we're the software development shop building on the Sentinel network and building within the Cosmos ecosystem. And Sentinel is a leader in end-to-end, provably encrypted, decentralized VPN. So I'd like to get a little bit into the web. For all of you guys that have been watching, you probably might not have been born right when, or you're just coming of age when the early advent of the web came in the mid to late 90s. I don't know if you remember, but like people would get discs in the mail for AOL. And this is when people were first getting access to dial-up internet. And the internet itself was a beautiful construct, a beautiful idea. The ability to connect people around the world, the ability to share information, the ability to get access to content you couldn't otherwise. And the Web 1.0 had a beautiful vision of being able to give us access to that information. And the Web 1.0 was really decentralized. Everyone was building different things. Anyone could spin up their own website, and there was a myriad of different players coming into the space all at once. It was really exciting times. I remember like waiting for my parents to hang up the phone so that I could call in and get access to the internet, and it was like a 2 or 3 minute process just to get connected online. But from there, I was able to get onto, online chats or MSN Messenger, or even chats that weren't branded by big companies. They were just people had spun up different websites or RPC servers, and you could connect to people, and you could research anything. And the web was really crude at the time. But that was the original vision of the web, right? Was to be able to give us access to information, to be able to connect to one another, and for everyone to participate in the web. Unfortunately, that has changed. Unfortunately, with everyone's looking to make profit, everyone's looking to maximize opportunity. The web has evolved from a truly kind of decentralized web that was really rudimentary and really read-only to better interfaces, to better user experience, to better convenience online, and to being able to have a more social connections online. But through that, big companies were built and behemoths were born, and a lot of centralization has happened in the web. So let's get into what that has really looked like. With the advent of the web, people are looking for better privacy and decentralization because of the, I call them our digital overlords, the big companies that have taken massive market share and control our user experience online. Google, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and these companies have dominated the web and have built better user experiences for us, but also have dominated our ability to control the narrative online, the ability to have independence and sovereignty online. And so we're looking at now thinking about ways that we can provide better security and better privacy online because of the nature of the extreme centralization and extreme power corruption within within the digital overlords that we follow online, or that we leverage for our uses and applications every day. So the Web 2.0, after we went from the decentralized web that was really information read-only, basic rudimentary websites, being able to kind of get access to content for the first time, we went to Web 2.0, right? And the Web 2.0 are the big players, AWS, Amazon, Netflix, Google, but it also created the opportunity for the social web, right? Which had a lot of benefits as well. Right now, you can generate revenue by offering your house up on your apartment on Airbnb and earn passive income for doing so. Or you can put your car up on Turo. I even have rented my bike on Spin Lister and been able to get access to passive income by renting my bike out online. So this Web 2.0 has improved user experience. It's improved peer-to-peer and social networking. Facebook, whether, obviously has had a lot of issues as far as being a company that's focused on privacy online and focused on user protection. But what Facebook did is it really killed it in UI and user experience. And it's really easy to connect to other people, to find them, to join groups. So the social web has been a boon for internet adoption globally. We've never, ever in the history of humanity seen anything that has had such massive, ubiquitous adoption and global usage like Facebook with 4.5 billion people on the planet using their service. Uber coming into the world to be able to provide the access to transportation at a fraction of the cost of traditional cabs, but at the same time being able to do it at lightning speed in the palm of your hand. So the advent of the social web, the advent of mobile technologies, the advent of the democratization of the web has made for a global marketplace where we're all able to access content and communicate with each other. And it's really exciting, but it's come at severe cost. How many times have you signed up for a new service and clicked through a bunch of disclaimers or small print to be able to figure out what is the, to go through the privacy settings and the terms and conditions, just so you can get access to Snapchat, so you can get access to WhatsApp, and you're not reading what's the service agreement, what are the implications of the work you're doing, and what is the centralization factor here. And so we've come to a place where we've prioritized and monetized convenience over all else. And when we do that, we don't realize the implications of that. We're giving away in all these free services that we're using, we're realizing now that we are the product. They're leveraging our information, our data, our usage and history of the internet to be able to monetize that and sell that to primarily advertisers, which has taken over the entire landscape of Web 2.0. And not only is our personal information being held hostage by advertisers, but also it's being centralized in massive databases that are being controlled by these companies. And, for example, Marriott in 2019 had 500 million of its personal guests that were hacked, and their addresses, their passport numbers, their dates of birth, credit card information was leaked. We've seen this with Equifax there was a massive hack and a huge data breach, and consumers' personal information is lost, and it comes at a huge cost. A personal friend of mine living in Chicago, she was originally from Mexico and moved to the U.S., and it took her 15 years to get residency and eventually the United States citizenship. And throughout that entire time, she worked really hard to build up her credit, to build up her connections in the U.S., to be able to work independently. She built up an incredible credit score and was in the process of purchasing a house. And then her information was hacked and her identity was stolen. And it took her over 2 years to go through that mess, working with centralized major corporations to identify what the identity hack was, how to undo it, how to reclaim her identity. But in the process, the individuals that hacked her identity used her credit cards and decimated her credit score. And even though she was completely innocent the entire time, her credit score was decimated. She was not able to purchase that house. And now she's going through the entire process again of trying to purchase a house while the housing market is pumped up in price. So there's extreme risks with putting all of our information in the hands of a few centralized players and giving away all independence online for the mere convenience of access to Web 2.0 services. And actually, Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, he's quoted saying, if you put the key under the mat for the cops, a burglar is also going to find it. And we know that if there's a hidden key somewhere, burglars are not going to stop until they find it. So this is the opportunity now for us to change the way that we access the web. Instead of leveraging all of our information in centralized entities that control all of our data and control all of our payment information, we're starting to reclaim that. And the Web3 is a pivot from centralized networks with digital overlords that can control all of our data, have the ability to monetize or resell that data, and are putting longer and longer legal disclaimers, making it more confusing what's going to happen with our data, to a decentralized web where we are able to connect in peer-to-peer fashions and use open source protocols where there's no one central company or authority that can control the data. And we're also able to manage the free flow of value of our finances without having to rely on centralized big banks that control all of our information and our finances. Now with the advent of the Web3 and Web3 tooling, we're able to manage our own and custody our own funds and send them peer-to-peer to people across the globe. So the Web3 is a big transition to sovereignty online, both with access to information and contacting people and not being relying on doing so via centralized third parties, and also being able to do commerce globally across the world to people that either don't have bank accounts or to be able to manage our own funds and a free flow of value with finances directly. And so the Web 2 was this concept like Google. They've claimed that like the idea is that they won't be evil, and that trust us, we're Google, we have a good brand name, leverage our services. We're going to make everything convenient for you. And that's been this entire concept of Web 2. And it's been proven time and time again that we can't rely on major centralized companies to to leverage all of our content, leverage all of our data, and share that and do it earnestly. Money comes into play, and whether you have a good mission or not, finances complicate things, incentives complicate things, changing of directors complicate things. But the changing of Web 3.0 is that instead of the idea of trust us, we won't be evil, it's we can't be evil, because we now as individuals are the ones that are controlling our sovereignty online and controlling our data online and controlling our funds and access to value online. So not only are you not giving all your information to centralized companies via forms, not only are you able to access and control your own data, but the Web3 is far more secure. because there isn't centralized massive databases that control all of the information and all of your data online, we have open source protocols that we can prove act in the way that they claim they do. The reason that Bitcoin came into existence in 2008 from an anonymous developer or a group of developers, Satoshi Nakamoto, was in defense of and to go against the centralized inconsistencies of centralized monetary policy. After the 2008 financial crisis and the centralization and complete dependency on central banks and the crazy irresponsible activity of investment banks, we realized how vulnerable and fragile our entire financial system was, and how when we're putting this entire financial system in the hands of gamblers at investment banks that are making bets on the economy always going up and taking riskier and riskier bets with the funds of the pensioners across the entire planet, we realized how fragile that system was. As soon as the housing market collapsed in 2008 and the entire financial markets went completely tumbling, the response from central banks was to bail all of the banks out and to print hundreds of billions of dollars to be able to bail out banks. And actually, in the Genesis block of the Bitcoin blockchain, as it was first launched, Satoshi wrote in the memo that from the headline from the UK newspaper about the chancellor bailing out more banks in a second round of bailouts to support the financial services that we're completely dependent upon. And that was a political statement showing that we need to have alternative options that are peer-to-peer, where we can control our sovereignty and we control our funds. And this entirely changes the ability to be able to be more secure online, because we're not completely dependent on central banks and massive corporations or massive investment banks that are deciding to do what they want with our data or what they want with our finances. Now we're taking control, and we're having this in open source data that's provably more secure. So some of the core tenets of the Web3 is that finances and money and value will flow natively, and that is a native feature of the internet. Instead of relying still today in 2021 on wire transfers from global corporate banks, and for the wire transfers to be audited in between banks and having 5 to 7 day settlement, and oftentimes funds being denied or stuck or reversed. Now funds are going to be able to flow natively, just like we're able to chat with each other on, back in the day when it was Web 1.0 on MSN or AOL Messenger, to today with open source protocols to be able to communicate directly. We're also now able to do that with the flow of capital. What this does is completely opens up the global economy, and now all of us have an opportunity to participate in the global economy, transfer value, and provide valuable services to all of us around the globe in a peer-to-peer fashion. And we're able to build applications, like I was speaking, that are open source and decentralized, that offer far more greater capability and far more freedom online. We'll get into a few more examples of that, but the Web 3.0 completely changes the architecture of the web and provides us a whole new opportunity to do the same activities we were doing online before, but more efficiently, more securely, and in a peer-to-peer fashion without third-party rent seekers that are looking to skim off all the value off the top. And there's another huge growing aspect of the Web 3.0 is not only that value is able to flow across the web, but we're able to manage and have access to our own identity online. Digital identity services are being built where you can control your information, your digital passport, and being able to selectively offer whatever specific pieces of that information are necessary to be able to interact with whatever service. and not give up your entire passport, not give up your entire personal information, not give up your social security card, not give up information that's crucial to your own privacy and your own identity, but only selectively give out the information that is crucial to be able to do commerce and transactions online. So that's another huge aspect of the web where we're reclaiming our sovereignty. So in Web 3.0, now it's really easy to send money, for example, in the Web 2.0 on great, services that have become extremely convenient. For example, PayPal or Venmo. With Venmo, I can send anybody that has a US bank account that's connected to Venmo funds directly. And then they can withdraw those funds to their bank account. They can resend those funds to other people, but it's really at a local level. It's only people that have access to Venmo, where Venmo is able to operate in those jurisdictions and is able to connect to bank accounts that are tied to Venmo. So it's really at a local level. And Venmo has the ability, is the central player that's a centralized company. It was acquired by PayPal. To be able to monitor and to decline or approve any transaction that happens on their service. So it's really a localized environment, whereas with the advent of Web 3.0 and Web 3.0 protocols, we're able to send value at a global scale, leveraging tools like MetaMask or Kepler Wallet. You're able to send funds to people around the planet instantaneously and at a true global scale. And now with decentralized networks, we're able to do this at a fraction of the cost. To be able to send funds across the planet via a wire, that costs anywhere between $30 and $100. And that's only if the local domestic bank approves it and the international bank approves it. And it can take 5 days, even 7 days to have a wire transfer distributed across the planet. And it can cost between $30 to $100, and it can be approved or denied. And it includes a ton of friction. And oftentimes to get it approved, there's multiple settings of vetting stages. And it provides just a lot of limited access for people across the globe. But now with the advent of Web 3.0 protocols, we can send funds like Ethereum or Bitcoin or tokens within the Cosmos ecosystem instantaneously at a global scale in a permissionless fashion at nearly zero cost, and anyone can participate. And what's even more incredible is with the growth and incredible adoption of the internet across the globe, nearly everyone is able to participate in this ecosystem. There are countries that make this challenging with extreme limited access to the web, but we're also building bridges, and we're building ways that we can get around that. And that's something exciting that Sentinel is doing, is providing global democratized access to the web, even in countries where the web is far more inaccessible. So the Web 2.0 was massive companies that have had a ton of profit that leverage individual users' data, resell that to other companies, take advantage of users as the product to be able to use that content for advertisers, but building really powerful tools that we're all using every day and have made our lives far more convenient. Web 3.0 is moving us in that same direction of being able to have these protocols, have these tools that we want to use, like Airbnb or Twitter or Facebook, but moving them to open source, decentralized protocols that has no one individual at the end of the company that controls the protocol. This is open source code. Open source code is essentially speech. And so anyone can create content online, anyone can create code online. And with these open source permissionless protocols, we're able to have access to the great services like Airbnb or Twitter that we have online, but without a company that's taking 20, 30% of the profit and is a company that's reselling your data. It completely changes the landscape and it reclaims power to the individual. So the Web3 stack, before we're able to have all of these applications that work natively on Web3, we need to have the Web3 stack built out efficiently at the core infrastructure layer. So we need to build out applications like the HTTP of the internet, the DNS and website domain names of the internet, browsers that work natively in Web3, search engines, the bandwidth sharing, file storage, all of the kind of core layers of the Web3 stack need to be built out, leveraging open source protocols for us to be able to have the seamless experience of the Web 3.0 that we did in Web 2.0. And Sentinel is a core part of this Web3 stack. So Greg Osuri is the CEO of Akash Network, and Akash Network is a key player in building out the Web 3.0 stack. They're building out solutions for cloud computing. So instead of leveraging AWS or DigitalOcean or Microsoft Azure and relying on them for your cloud computing, you can use the Akash Network, and it's a peer-to-peer open source network for decentralized cloud compute. But you can see here, Greg had tweeted about the key players that are building out the Web 3.0 stack. And he talked about the domain name system, and HNS, the Handshake Network, is building out core tooling for decentralized domains so that we're not completely reliant on the ICANN centralized domain name registry, but that we can have a peer-to-peer open source domain name system and completely build that core access to the web. Decentralized cloud compute we talked about is Akash Network. They're building incredible work there. Another project that's doing that is the ICP, the Internet Computer, or also known as Dfinity. Middleware is crucial, right? The middleware layer for the web for communication and verification of information. The Graph protocol is a huge player that's building out the core tooling and core stack for the Web 3.0 at the middleware layer. File storage and decentralized, instead of leveraging, Google Cloud or Dropbox and completely relying on them for our online file storage, we have projects like Siacoin or Storage or Arweave that are building out the core layer of decentralized storage. And then at the database layer, Bluezell is building out decentralized database. So we see that the web is rapidly transitioning, and Sentinel is building the infrastructure for bandwidth. So anyone that needs to route traffic through one IP address, instead of relying on a centralized company like NordVPN to be able to route your traffic through a different IP address, Sentinel is building a peer-to-peer network where anyone can route their traffic through anyone else's IP address, leveraging the existing infrastructure we already have and the home existing internet connections that we have through our internet service providers to be able to provide a bandwidth marketplace that is truly peer-to-peer. And I'm the CEO of Exidio, and Exidio, we're a software development arm. We're building on the Sentinel network, but anyone that's partaking in the Sentinel network, anyone that's offering bandwidth to the network, or anyone that's routing traffic through the network, they are part of the Sentinel network. And Exidio, we're a company that's helping build some of the core layer for the basic infrastructure for the network. And also we're a company that is helping to build out front-end applications so that if you would like to build your own VPN, you could leverage Exidio and we can help you build out the front-end application and ensure that it's open source so that it connects to the Sentinel network. I'd like to get a little deeper into the Web3 stack. We were talking about the core tooling for the Web3. And so at the internet protocol layer, and like the access to the web, there's two really exciting projects. One in the Cosmos ecosystem is called Althea. Another project is Helium. And what they're doing is providing last mile access to the internet. So they're providing extending Wi-Fi networks and extending mobile networks via myriad of different methods, including via antennas connected to houses to be able to connect data networks and bandwidth networks and share them to grow the scale and to be able to have individuals have access to the internet at a far more greater reach to the access to the web. And then decentralized domain names. So I mentioned Handshake Network, and another is Unstoppable Domains. And these are protocols that are building out the domain name system so that we can have access to the web and have it be robust regardless if regardless of if ICANN is blocking or not blocking certain domain names. And at the bandwidth and packet sharing layer of the internet, that's where Sentinel falls into place. That's where we're offering bandwidth and decentralizing the dependency on centralized VPN companies to be able to route traffic through different connections. And then
Dan,
we
just
have.
to interject for you.
Yep.
Sorry, just to interject. Somebody's asking for you to zoom in a little bit on that slide, on that particular slide.
Oh yeah, let me see. I think I will have to.
On just that particular slide.
Yeah.
Just a little bit
here.
Yeah, that should go. Please continue. Thank you.
Yeah, and here this is better, I think.
Yeah.
And then we have all of the layer one blockchains that have the ability to transfer value, and we're seeing an explosion in this space, right? Cosmos being a great example, because not only is Cosmos a layer one blockchain where you can transfer value via the Atom token, but Cosmos is building out the decentralized web at the communication layer, so that not only is Cosmos are people able to transfer Atom tokens, which is the native asset in the Cosmos ecosystem, but Cosmos has built the IBC, the inter blockchain communications layer, so that all individual layer one blockchains can connect to the IBC, the inter blockchain communications layer, and different layer one blockchains can communicate with each other. And this is no longer a pipe dream. This actually went live about 5 months ago. And since the inception of the mainnet of the IBC, the inter blockchain communications layer, it has completely transformed how blockchains are able to communicate. Sentinel is its own native blockchain, built leveraging the Cosmos SDK, built leveraging the core tooling that Cosmos has built out. And so Sentinel's framework is built on the Cosmos framework. And now you're able to transfer tokens with Sentinel to Atom and Atom to Sentinel, or Sentinel to Akash, the AKT token, and AKT back to the DVPN, the Sentinel token, seamlessly because of the inter blockchain communications layer. So it's really impressive that we're finally having interoperability within blockchains, and it's happening. It's functioning and working seamlessly. And at Exidio, that's a big part of what we're doing, is helping to build out tooling and helping to build out the adoption of the Cosmos SDK, so that we can have blockchains that don't stand alone and operate independently, but that they're able to communicate natively and seamlessly. So that's a big part of the Web3 stack, is being able to transfer value and being able to do that seamlessly and at a really efficient cost. Ethereum right now is a great layer one blockchain and has had a lot of decentralized applications built on top of it. But with the success of the Ethereum network has also come an issue with the design and architecture of the network. It's not able to scale horizontally because it only has so much throughput. And so because of that, the ability to be able to transact still happens at a very fast pace. Within less than 3 minutes, you can have an Ethereum transaction go through. But to be able to ensure your Ethereum transaction is the one that goes through and is the top of the queue to go through, you need to pay exorbitant gas fees. And this is a huge issue with the design of the Ethereum network. And Ethereum is looking to take on these issues. There's layer 2 scaling solutions that are being built. But again, those layer 2 scaling solutions then can lead to more centralization. And so Arbitrum and Optimism are optimistic rollups that are being built on Ethereum to be able to improve the security and to improve the throughput of the Ethereum network. But I might be biased, but I really encourage people to look into the Cosmos network because it's able to scale horizontally. Every layer one blockchain that builds leveraging the Cosmos SDK maintains its own security and maintains its own validator set, but is still able to communicate via the Cosmos hub and communicate and have interoperability. But I do encourage people to look into these layer one blockchains and these protocols that are being the core infrastructure for the value layer of the internet, of the Web 3.0 stack. And I already mentioned that there's a lot of big players that are building in the decentralized file storage space. So Arweave, SiaCoin, Filecoin are some of the core players that are building decentralized file storage. Storage is another. So those are some of the 4 biggest ones that are looking at how do we remove our dependence and reliance on Google Cloud or on other online file storage services. And we're even decentralizing the browser. So Brave is a decentralized browser built on the Web3 stack. And the initial founders of Brave, some of them were initially the founders of Mozilla. And then MetaMask and other wallets are being able to giving us access to Web 3.0 native sites without having to log in and give our personal information. So it's really, really cool to see the ability to transfer value. Like on within the Cosmos ecosystem, there's a decentralized exchange called the Osmosis DEX. And Osmosis is a peer-to-peer exchange where you can offer liquidity to the exchange and provide native liquidity instead of having a market maker do that. And so with individuals providing liquidity to the exchange, it operates independently, and the order book is managed via an algorithm. And so offering liquidity to this network, to this protocol, now you're able to seamlessly trade different assets that are on the inner blockchain communications layer of the Cosmos ecosystem and do cross-chain trading and swaps, but at a fraction, at incredibly low cost and incredible speed. And to be able to access the Osmosis decentralized exchange, you can leverage the Kepler wallet, which is an open source wallet. And you can also think of it as a browser where you maintain and store your value. And so you can use your Kepler wallet connected to Osmosis Zone and transfer value seamlessly and fluidly. So these protocols that we're building are completely they're completely overhauling how we interact with the web via the front end, via the browser. And then to be able to transfer value seamlessly and securely and maintain our own funds. There's really a lot of different ways that you can manage your own funds, but I think one of the best and more secure ways is your private key management. And doing so with a hardware wallet provides a lot of sovereignty and privacy and security to manage your own funds. So there's large companies like Ledger and Trezor, and I even believe Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter, is working on building out a open source secure hardware wallet for the Bitcoin network. So we're seeing massive adoption of these protocols. And then there's a lot of on-chain protocols that I talked about that connect to the Web3 for all different types of applications. They could be finance applications. They can be gaming. They can be art. They can be leveraging NFTs. But there are all these decentralized applications and protocols that are connecting to the core Web 3.0 stack and doing it in a native way, like leveraging asset tools like MetaMask or Kepler Wallet. But it's really, really exciting to see initially the Web 3.0 is kind of attacking the financial services sector and being able to do borrowing, lending, sending of assets, transferring value, leverage, all these different financial asset applications that we're used to with centralized companies that control our data and restrict what we can and cannot do are being done in a decentralized fashion. But now we're really seeing the Web 3.0 take off to be able to provide access to other types of value, not just in the financial network services, but within other industries. And I'll go back to presentation mode here. Sorry, I gotta So this is where Sentinel comes into play, because Sentinel is a peer-to-peer bandwidth marketplace where anyone can route traffic through that. Sentinel is attacking the centralized VPN industry. So any one individual that wants to route their traffic through someone else's IP address can now do it in a truly open source, provably encrypted, peer-to-peer fashion, instead of leveraging centralized VPN companies that might or might not be selling your data, might or might not be logging your data, and might be having to comply with authorities when they want to log your data, or when they when the money is just too good and the incentives are too great, and they resell your data. And so the bandwidth layer of the internet is crucial to maintain our online access to content, because without access to a VPN, you can't get access to content in certain jurisdictions. For example, in Vietnam, you can't get access to medium.com. I know that countries are starting to become more restrictive on accessing VPNs. And so the centralized VPN industry, while it's growing massively, is a serious threat for the web. And leveraging Web 3.0 protocols, we're able to provide access to the VPN, but doing it in a provably and encrypted way, and doing it so that we get access to content online, and anyone can build on the Sentinel stack. And speaking of others that are building on the Sentinel stack, Sentinel has had a strong position in the marketplace, and Sentinel has had strong partnerships with other companies in the Web 3.0 stack. So Secret Network is providing privacy at the base layer for a blockchain. So Secret Network is building out privacy for smart contracts, where you can execute a smart contract and not all of it is recorded for public access on the public blockchain. So Secret Network is a crucial player in the privacy stack, and Sentinel is working with them to explore ways that we can collaborate on our privacy focus to be able to provide privacy at the base layer. And Secret Network is also a part of the Cosmos ecosystem, and they are next month going to be pivoting and bringing their network onto the inter-blockchain communications layer. And when Secret Network is on IBC, they'll be able to create private transactions across all blockchains within the IBC. So Sentinel has a huge alliance with Secret as we look to provide better privacy online. Akash is the decentralized cloud compute layer, and Akash and Siacoin and Handshake Network, Sentinel has partnered with all three of those to build out what is going to be called the Handy Miner. And it's really cool. It's an opportunity for every individual to earn passive income and monetize their excess resources that they already have, via their excess cloud compute on the Akash network, their excess file storage, leveraging the SIA and SIA technology, being able to resolve handshake domains instead of only ICANN domains, be able to resolve domains, leveraging the Handy Miner, and to be able to generate passive income, offering your bandwidth to the network for the Sentinel network. Our four protocols together are building solutions to be able to provide anyone access to their privacy online and monetize their excess resources. So we're really excited about partnering with some of these core players within the Web3 stack. And StrongBlock is a project and protocol that's building out the ability for anyone to spin up nodes and strengthen Web 3.0 protocols. And Sentinel has partnered with StrongBlock to be able to offer a seamless access for people to offer their own bandwidth to the network and earn passive income, and have StrongBlock maintain some of the challenges that go into that. And finally, Panther Protocol is a privacy-focused protocol leveraging ZK snarks, and they are building out web tooling, including wallets, and they're going to be partnering with Sentinel on incorporation and then of tokens within their wallet, and then looking at their private
Hey guys, seems to be some sort of technical issue from Dan's end. I think he'll just be back if you give him a minute. Yep, this is one of the best sessions because Dan explains everything very clearly, right, Avinash? And he will be back to answer a few questions, if possible. I see a lot of you have posted a lot of questions here. And of course, we're just waiting on Dan. Seems to be some sort of a technical glitch. We'll just add him back as soon as he's back. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, Bijit. I think he ran out of battery. He was
That
getting
might be.
Yeah.
Might be possible. Seemed like it.
Yeah.
Alisha says very informative. Yes, it indeed was. We're sitting here backstage learning so much.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, Dan's back. Here.
He
I'll
is.
just put him up.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Hey, Dan.
Hey, sorry about that.
No worries.
That's absolutely all right.
All right, cool.
Absolutely all right.
We're getting great feedback from the audience. They loved the session. But if you could
Yeah.
please wrap it up, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can move on to a couple of questions
All right.
we can ask.
Um,
There's a lot of people
yeah,
ask questions.
It sounds good. Let's go to some questions.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so we'll take a couple of questions. If you have another slide, then you can roll that as well. I might as well finish it up.
Sure. Yeah. We have a ton ahead of us, and we're really excited for developers that are really interested in the Web 3.0 stack and building the core layer of the Web 3.0 stack at the protocol level and at the networking level. So we'd love to talk to any developers. You can see we have a massive roadmap ahead of us, and we really differentiate ourselves versus centralized VPNs. And so we've had a ton of traction in the market, and now we're looking to really scale, and we're offering competitive compensation. We want really the best people that are going to help us secure this layer for the Web 3.0.
Yeah. Great. Thank you, Dan. Danish is asking, are there any specific security concerns when it comes to Web 3.0, which is why maybe people are, a little hesitant in switching to, from 2 to 3?
Yeah, I think one thing that's you need to be considerate of is especially at the Internet of Value, if you're managing your own funds, you are custodying your own funds. So if you're leveraging your own bank and you're relying on your bank to custody your funds, and in the United States, there's something called FDIC insurance, where if the bank were to lose money, you're still insured. You don't have that with the Web 3.0 when you custody your own funds. So that's something to be very careful of and being able to manage your own private keys. And then also being careful that when you're connecting to Web 3.0 websites, that they are the official websites. And when you're connecting your wallet, so that you're and you're making sure that you're reviewing the open source code.
Yep. Nikhil's asking, can I set up a Sentinel node in my home? What do I need?
Yeah, Nikhil, that's absolutely right. You can. And you can either do it by yourself and you'd be running a CLI client to be able to do so. And if you're familiar with CLI and you could run your own command line interface, then that's great. Otherwise, you can leverage Strong Block and they can help spin up a node for you. But next month in October, we're putting out new software that will provide a more seamless access to be able to offer a Sentinel node from your home and earn revenue without having to run CLI.
Great, Dan. I think that's all the time that we have for the questions. There are a lot of questions that have come and great feedback as well. But I can assure that we'll answer them separately when we can. Thank you so much for coming in, Dan, and thank you for sponsoring our hackathon. We'll keep you updated with how the hackathon goes, what the teams are, and whoever wins the hackathon, you'll get to know everything.
I love it. And if anyone can feel free to contact me, my email is dan@exidio.co. Feel free to shoot your questions my way.
Perfect. Yep. Thank you, Dan. Thanks a lot.
Thanks again, guys.
Take care. Bye-bye.